John, you're on the ground there at the Queen's Park Oval. The Guyana Harpy Eagles, the innings in 57 runs, defeat the Leeward Island Hurricanes inside, well inside of 3 days actually. Uh, how would you put that performance? 116 in the first innings, and then not an improve in terms of the run tally, but still not the best performance of the bat. What went wrong with the Harpy Eagles at the Queen's Park Oval?
Winning the toss and batting and getting to just 116 with a started batting lineup is the first thing you'd want to look at. But not to take anything away from the Leeward Islands Hurricanes, the opening bowlers especially used the new ball very nicely, especially Alzari Joseph, and he was supported admirably by Jeremiah Louis and the left arm seamer in Colin Archibald Jr. And there's a new kid on the block for them, left arm spinner Daniel Durham. So that attack gave the Leeward Islands that variety that they needed. But that opening burst on opening day really put Guyana Harpy Eagles on the back foot, and they could not recover from that. 37 for 5, that's a bad position to be in, especially with world-rated batsmen Shimron Hetmeyer, Leon Johnson, Vishal Singh, Chandrapal Hemraj, who all played international cricket. And then with seasoned campaigner Tejaran Chandrapal, all 5 back in the pavilion, the lower half was left to do what the top half could not have done. And it really did not get any better for them. 116 all out with lots of time still in the game. The Leeward Islands Hurricanes, they batted well on the same track and batted just once. And then, of course, of a team in the field for more than 2 days, you can expect that they will be tired. And it showed when the Harpy Eagles started to bat the second time. They were tired physically, and perhaps some of them even mentally. 265, better showing, but not quite enough.
Bad shot selection, great bowling, or a combination of both, you would say?
Yeah, it's a combination of both. Alzari Joseph made the new ball count. And when he got the ball in the good areas, instead of trying to respect the good deliveries, the Guyana Harpy Eagles batsmen, they try to manufacture shots and not realizing, in my opinion, that it's 4 days to play. They started to go for shots very early. And as a result of that, they lost their wickets and lost the game.
How did they improve from here, though, John? I know there's a break after this round. They start back in May. But how can the Eagles improve from here?
Well, I think the same players that are being used were the same players used to get them success previously. So just a matter of finding players, the right combination, and these players are getting form and confidence back. Nothing is wrong with the side that was selected. The same team played in the first round, played in the second round. Nothing is quite wrong. Just a matter of having the players fit and getting them back confident and with some form. Because if the top order had clicked, there's no need for the low order batsmen to really try to get a game out of this one. Let's say one of the top 5s stood up to get 100 and maybe another half century there. It could have been a totally different game. It would have given the bowlers an opportunity to bowl a little bit more attacking and with pressure, scoreboard pressure on the opposition. It could have been a different game. So I don't think much can be done in terms of the players. Just a matter of them getting confidence and form.
Yeah, one of the most topical issues before the first round was the non-selection or the omission, we want to put it in that regards, of Christopher Barnwell on commentary for both matches. A topical issue again was the amount of left-handers. I know that in the past, these amount of left-handers would have given 5 titles, but do you believe probably a different combination could have gone, and probably as well, they really missed Barnwell and to a larger extent Ramon Reef as well for these 2 matches?
Yeah, Raymond Reefer for that left arm variety in that attack definitely missed. And if the left-handers had gotten off, we would have said, yes, we can look at that as something working in the favor of the Harpy Eagles. It did not, and that's why we're examining this close. And if you look at what happened in the first round, when a victory was given, really, you can say, to the Harpy Eagles, they did not look at the combinations, they did not look at anything, because the old adage says you do not change a winning team. So if you're looking to correct things as you go along, that would have been something that you wanted to look at. Perhaps getting someone like a Tevin Imlach, who's in the squad, to play as a top order batsman, but who do you leave out? Or if not bringing in Imlach, you could have asked one of the persons at down the yard of Akeem Paul, maybe Anthony Bramble, to bat up the order, just to mix up the top 5 left-handers. You would have had the same 11, just a matter of combinations. And like I said, with hindsight, these things always come to light. And that victory against the Volcanoes brushed aside these issues that were budding, and we did not really examine them, because a victory is a victory.
Yeah, and just finally, John, well, I know the Eagles match would have finished before the others, but after 2 rounds, how well prepared, or would you say, or enthusiastic would you be as West Indies take on England in those 3 test matches next month?
Yeah, well, it's a lot of work for the selectors, first of all, because not much to look at in the 2 rounds. Just a few players really putting up their hands and giving the selectors something to think about, putting pressure on the selectors. So that would be the first headache you would want to say for West Indies. And then the second will be when they get together. There's a warm-up game before the actual first test match. And when they get together as a team, they'll try to work on what will be the best 13 and eventually the best 11. So it's still a far away, you would want to say, before that final 11 will take the field in Antigua. But I would love to see a very competitive, at least, West Indies team taking that field in Antigua. Maybe, like I always say, not only to show up, but to compete, and if possible, go on to win. So it's early days to call players, but Alzarri Joseph really put up his hand very high today. And of course, we cannot rule out 276 from Braffett. He's a captain, but he really showed that he's a captain and is doing the hard work as well. John Campbell, I mean, he has been doing this over the years, getting runs at a regional level, but just cannot convert at the highest level. He put his hand up, and some wicket keepers as well, trying to really take the place of Joshua Da Silva, who also made some runs in the first and second rounds. So some of those players you can look at, they're inking the name in already, but others not quite there. And it's going to be a difficult task for the selectors, but I'm sure they will come up with something that we can all rally around.